Cars used to be just a way to get from point A to point B, but now, for a lot of people, owning a car has turned into a lifestyle flex, and unfortunately, that lifestyle flex is keeping millions of Americans trapped in a cycle of debt. $1.6 trillion in debt to be exact. As of 2025, the average monthly car payment for a new vehicle is around $739, while used cars aren't much better at $558. Let that sink in, and if you think that's just a few people who splurge on a BMW or a Tesla, think again. Over 100 million Americans currently have an auto loan. So how did we get here? Why are so many people stretching themselves so thin for something they technically don't even own yet? Well, let's talk about it. We live in a society where everything is marketed to make you feel like you need more. More luxury, more tech, more power, more status. And that mindset doesn't stop at phones, shoes, or clothes. It's deeply embedded in car culture too. Cars are one of the biggest purchases most people make besides a house. And yet, the way people approach car buying is often based more on emotion and image than actual practicality and affordability. Luxury brands like BMW, Audi, Mercedes, and now even Tesla are increasingly targeting the average consumer. You don't have to be rich to drive a luxury car. You just have to be willing to go into debt for one. Car companies and dealerships know exactly how to make that happen. They offer longer terms, 72 months, 84 months, and in some extreme cases, even 96 months. That's 8 years of payments. By spreading out the loan, your monthly payment looks smaller, so you think it's affordable. But you're really just dragging out the debt and paying way more in interest over time. And let's not forget the rise in car prices themselves. In 2019, the average new car price was around $37,000, and now it's well over $48,000, and some analysts expect it to top $50,000 in the next year or two. That is a 30% increase in just 5 years, far outpacing wage growth. And median household income hasn't kept pace. That means people are spending more of their income on their cars than ever before. And it's not just inflation. It's consumerism and supply chain manipulation bundled together with clever marketing to convince people they need features like heated massage seats and panoramic moon roofs. All these fancy add-ons increase the base cost of a car, making it harder to find basic vehicles anymore. Even entry-level models now come with tech packages, larger screens, and more gadgets than anyone actually needs. And the problem is deeper than just prices. This is part of a larger issue of overconsumption. We live in a culture that constantly tells us to upgrade, even when what we already have works just fine. There's a reason ads show people smiling while holding keys to a brand new car in their driveway. It's not just about transportation, it's about status, success, and validation. And companies are brilliant at tapping into that. The idea of buying a modest used car and driving it for 10 years, that's boring. But financing a brand new car with a touchscreen, backup camera, lane assist, and all the bells and whistles, that's success, that's aspirational, and that means you deserve it. But at what cost? A recent survey found that around 40% of Americans regret their car purchase, mostly due to how much it costs. And even more troubling, many buyers are financing more than their car is worth from the moment they drive it off the lot. Cars are depreciating assets. That means the minute you leave the dealership, the value drops, sometimes by 10% or even more. That means you're paying interest on money you technically already lost. And it's easy to blame people for making bad financial choices. But let's be real, the system is designed to trap you. Auto companies aren't building affordable cars anymore because they don't want to. Over the past decade, most major automakers have phased out their cheapest models entirely. Ford stopped selling sedans like the Fiesta and Focus in the US. Honda stopped selling their Fit. Chevy stopped selling their Spark. Trucks, SUVs, and crossovers are more profitable, and consumers have been conditioned to see them as status upgrades and not just transportation. And sure, if your life or work helps to have a truck or crossover, then by all means it's fine. But so many people are simply wanting more for the sake of it, not because it fits with their life or wallet. And that's no accident. Car commercials don't show you sitting in traffic or paying $800 a month. They don't show repair bills or insurance premiums. They show a sleek SUV ripping through the desert or cruising down the Pacific Coast Highway with the windows open and wind in your hair. They sell freedom, power, and lifestyle, and not practicality. Even a basic pickup like the Ford F-Series is advertised like a rite of passage to manhood or success. SUVs like the Toyota Highlander or Chevy Tahoe are branded as family must-haves, subtly suggesting that a regular sedan means you're not doing enough for your family. And we buy into it, literally. But it's not just the ads. Car culture is baked into the structure of American life. The US has spent decades designing cities and suburbs around automobiles. Public transportation is underfunded or non-existent in most of the country. Sidewalks are a joke in many areas, and zoning laws keep jobs, homes, and shopping centers separated, which only forces you to drive to do literally anything. And all of that is not coincidence, it's policy. The car industry has spent billions lobbying politicians to build highways instead of rail to subsidize suburban sprawl, and to make sure car ownership stays as a necessity. They've shaped not only what we buy, but the very way we live. So if you feel like you have to own a car, you are not imagining it. In most of America, not having a car means not having access to a job, grocery store, or even basic healthcare. And there's a few things working against you here. The first are dealership pressure tactics. Dealers focus on monthly payments and not total costs. You walk in saying your budget is $500 a month, and they'll find a way to hit that number by extending your loan term to 84 months, sneaking in fees, or pushing you into dealer financing with higher interest rates. All of it gets bundled into the loan. And of course, there's lifestyle creep. You start making more money, so you upgrade your lifestyle to match. That means a nicer car, even if your old one still runs fine. It is the same consumer mindset that drives people to upgrade their phones every year or buy new clothes every season. It's overconsumption disguised as self-care. And lastly, there's FOMO and just social status. Let's be honest, social media makes everything worse. You see your coworkers or friends driving something new, and suddenly, your old reliable Toyota Corolla starts looking embarrassing. But their car might be leased, borrowed, or heavily financed too. We are all just trying to look successful, even if it's built on credit. Let's zoom out for a second. This isn't just about cars. It's about a broader pattern of spending beyond our means because of how consumerism wires our brains. We've been trained to value image over function, to chase upgrades, and to treat debt as a very normal part of life. And car companies, banks, and marketers are very happy to keep us there. Auto debt is just one piece of the puzzle. The average American has over $6,000 in credit card debt, plus student loans, plus rising housing costs. Car payments are often the second largest monthly expense after rent or mortgage. And we're not alone. 39% of Americans couldn't afford a $400 emergency without borrowing. Meanwhile, they're driving around in $50,000 SUVs. Some even end up turning to payday loans, credit cards, or buy now pay later services just to cover essentials. And that is not sustainable. So what can you do? Well, the general rule of thumb is to buy smart and not fancy. You probably can't escape car ownership entirely, but what you can escape are the worst financial traps if you approach it strategically. And it's all about a mindset shift. Your car is not your personality. It doesn't define your worth. And driving a 10-year-old Toyota doesn't make you less successful. In fact, it makes you smart. If you haven't bought a car yet, but plan to soon, you're in a good spot to avoid the trap. So first, do consider buying used instead of new. Used cars are often 30 to 40% cheaper than new ones and perform nearly the same. A car that's nearly 2 to 3 years old has already taken the biggest depreciation hit. You get all the function for way less the cost. Plus, if you buy in cash or take out a smaller loan, you're not locking yourself into years of debt. And buy for function and not ego. You don't need a luxury SUV with third row seats and a panoramic sunroof, so ask yourself, what do I really need from my car? If it's just to get to work or school, then reliable, fuel efficient, and safe should be the only boxes you check off your list. The next is to let go of the flex. If we're being honest, many people buy cars because of what it says about them. But that mindset, equating your worth with your wheels, is financially destructive. You don't get points in life for impressing strangers in a parking lot. And lastly, follow the 24-10 rule. Put down 20%. Get a loan no longer than 4 years, and make sure your monthly payment is less than 10% of your gross monthly income. If that doesn't fit your dream car, simply you can't afford it. And to wrap this up, a car should get you where you need to go, not drive your life into a financial ditch. It doesn't need to be luxury. It doesn't need to impress anyone. It just needs to work. And you don't need a $50,000 truck or car to feel successful. And that doesn't mean you can't ever buy a nice car. It just means you should do it on your own terms when you can actually afford it. Whatever you do, don't fall for the trap of trying to look rich while staying broke. Cars are a necessity for pretty much everyone, but the debt is optional. And that's it. Let me know what you think about our consumer culture and our world of cars that quietly drains our lives and wallet in the comments below. And if you enjoy videos like this blend of consumerism, pop culture, and finance, please leave a like and subscribe so you don't miss out on any other videos. Thank you very much for watching. And as ridiculous as this all might sound and its financial impacts, what if I told you people are putting thousands, even hundreds of thousands of dollars into something plastic and furry? So check out the wacky world of Labubu and how it's captured everyone's hearts and wallets.